about it. In Indore, we have a Dahi Vada vendor, and this vendor is really very famous. People from outside, when they visit Indore, they generally ask their hosts to take them to Sarafa market. Sarafa market, wherein this Dahi Vada vendor, Joshi, is situated. So people are really crazy about this particular Dahi Vada. Uh, like in earlier times, before independence, Lahore used to be a beautiful city. And in Punjabi, people used to say, Jin Lahore nahi vekhya, wo janme ai nahi. That means somebody who has not seen Lahore is not even born. So today we can say the same for Joshi's Dahi Vada. If somebody is not enjoyed Joshi's Dahi Vada, then probably he or she is not born. Anyway, that was in a lighter tone. But then, yes, Joshi's Dahi Vada actually is an experience in itself. First and foremost thing is Dahi Vada in itself is a delicious invitation. That soft, spongy vada soaked into fresh, thick curd and a lot of spices are sprinkled over it, and then sweet sour chutney and the aroma of all these. Certainly, that is a delicious invitation. Over and above that, if this dahi vada is from Joshi's, then that is really something we call in Hindi as Sone Pe Suhaga. So, how is that? So, Sarava market is a highly crowded market. In particularly late evening, we have all the eating outlets there. So, in the evenings, heavily crowded, a lot of people are there. All of them are there to enjoy some street food. So heavy traffic, a lot of people, so much of crowd, and if it's not winter, then so hot. And then when you reach there, you are kind of perturbed of the crowd, of the heat, dust, everything. But the moment you reach there and this person Joshi welcomes you in his typical style, you actually feel really good. You know, this person is a sweet spoken person. He talks to you in a wonderful way. And then the way he serves the vada, he would have one vada in that bowl and then throws it, catches it in another hand, and then pours curd over it, and then magically sprinkles the spices over it. If he rotates his hand once, he'll have one particular spice, second time another, third time yet another, and then you are like amazed. Hey, how is he managing it? Hiding all these spices probably among his fingers. So that is really interesting. So you are kind of impressed. You forget everything, that the crowd, and you're tired and everything. And then when you try that, it's amazing. It's just ready to get diluted, dissolved in your mouth. And not just this, it teaches us a lot of life lessons. For example, we can learn a lesson from vada itself. Uh, See, vada is made up of some kind of gram flour. It is. It cannot be made like sabudana vada. Sabudana vada is not that spongy, so that it can absorb something. But this particular vada is such that it is open to absorb things. So that is something unique about it. Even we can learn from it that we should be open for validation. So check for it. Are we really open for validation? First, important learning. Second, vada is first, after it is deep fried, it is first soaked into water. Now, what happens? When it is soaked into water, the oil content goes out. Otherwise, see, if oil is there and you pour curd on it, the taste would get spoiled. So it is soaked in water, and then even it is pressed to remove the water also. So what is unwanted is removed. Same way, we can check within us what all shortcomings we have, what all weaknesses we have. And like Dahi Vada, we can also work on our weaknesses and try to remove it. That is important. Now that vada is ready to have a lot of things, curd and spices and chutney and all. And just like that, are we open for value addition? We should be. Nobody can say that he or she has reached the pinnacle of learning. That if we would learn something more, if we would you know improve upon, then probably he would move up. No, it's not like that. We can always learn from that. And let me share with you, that's why I'm into Toastmaster. Instead of being a trainer and particularly training people in public speaking and leadership skill, I joined Toastmaster because somewhere I felt that that gap is there. I need to fill that gap wherein Toastmasters can help me. So it's not that I'm preaching you. I also try to implement that. That like the Hivada, even we should try and have some kind of value addition in ourselves. We can learn new things, new skills, and with that, now comes Joshi's style. The uh, style of Joshi is such, he actually takes away all the tensions persons are coming up with, whether it is crowded place or fumes and dust and noise and whatever. You actually get engrossed into the way he talks, the way he serves. So, can we do that? Can we try to delight our customers? Now, customers means what? Whomsoever we are serving, whomsoever we're working for. Can we delight them? Can we serve with an experience? And that is what a lot of people do. They work for kind of value addition. Uh, let's talk about a mason. Mason, when they construct floor, what do? They take care of the slope. If the mason is not a right person, the slope probably would be in the wrong direction. So if water gets spilled over, you probably go to take a wiper. By the time you bring the wiper, water is flowing in the other direction. You try to bring it to the outlet. So from both the ends, it again moves to the other side because the slope is opposite. The outlet is here and slope is on the other side. Whereas if the mason is worked properly, so by the time you get your wiper, water automatically flows towards the lower end, that is towards the outlet, water outlet, towards the drainage. So the mason is actually working, keeping in mind the person. So that is also required. That is also a must. Just like that, there might be many vendors selling the hibra. But Joshi chose to do it in a different way. That is what we can learn from Joshi. Whatever we are doing, can't we do it in a different way? Uh, that is being imaginative, being creative, doing things in a different way. So, Joshi's Dahi Vada tells us about it. And then it's also about having self belief. Joshi has that self belief. Whatever he does is appropriate, is right, and that is how he is attracting customers. Otherwise, people are very choosy. They'll go at one place and then okay, we enjoy it. Now they look for another thing. Then he gets repeat business. Not just this, as I already said, people traveling to Indore, coming to Indore from other places. They mostly have already heard about it that yes, in Indore this is the Dahi Vada, and then they wish to experience that. They actually come down to this place. So even that is there. So that is his self belief. Do we have that self belief? I can. That can do attitude. That is a must. Do we have that? And we must develop that. And that is not difficult, particularly in Indian context. We have got so many stories of so many successful Indians. For example, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Sahab, he came from a very humble background. It is said that he and his family were not having enough resources. He was very fond of reading. So, what did he do? He approached his cousin and requested him that, brother, his brother was having a bookstall on a railway station. So he said, brother, why don't you take some leave, take rest? I would be taking care of your bookstall. And then it was a small station, not many trains were passing by. So probably very seldom a train would come, and then there'd be few passengers who will come to the bookstall. Otherwise, Kalamsa was free to read any book of his choice there. That is how, he had grew up, and finally he has reached to the pinnacle of his career. He was very famous as Missile Man. He is given credit for many of the top programs of India. And then also, so many presidents, only one president is known as People's President. So that is also something unique about Kalamsa. Just like that, Kalpana Chawla, who is actually from Haryana. In general, in India, at least 20 years, 25 years back, these position of girls were not so good. You know, earlier, ancient times, if a girl is born, she would be killed. But then now, due to the technology, parents go for sex determination in their womb itself. And then many states, unfortunately, they kind of, I'm so sorry to use this word, but then they try and get rid of that. Thankfully, her parents were not like that. She comes from Haryana, but then her parents were different. She was not only allowed to live, survive, but she was given such a level of education, and then finally she also went to the pinnacle. There are many such stories. Story of yeah, Rahmat Sahab. He also comes from a very humble background, and then I can share with you story of this person who is from uh, lower middle class studied in a government Hindi medium school, and then so introvert. The person was so introvert that even if they'll have guests at home, he won't go out. And then, generally we have this tradition of touching feet. So he was literally pushed. He would fall in the feet of guests, would say, Namaste Pranam or something. And then he would run back to his room. And today, this person travels across the country, addresses lot many seminars and now even webinars. So please don't take it as self-boasting. No, it's not for self-boasting, but it is my story. And then even you could do that. So that's what I'm saying. Can do attitude, tremendous potential. We can do it. So the Hivada and Joshi, they tell us this important learning that we can do. So we need to have this can do attitude, just like that. You know, Joshi is there since ages. I have seen him since my childhood. Whereas this is an industry wherein there are lots of ups and downs. He could survive that, and that is his persistence is because of his self-control. Why I'm saying so? I have seen many other vendors in going into diversification. They would think, oh, we are doing this business good, so let's go into this also, and then this, and then this. Not many people are doing that, and then all of us, we must have witnessed this. Then when they lose their focus, they kind of fail in the market, even in their premier business, in their pioneer business. There's this American consultant who has authored this book, Focus. This book is based on fall of major American conglomerates. And the crux of the book is this, that these conglomerates fell down because they lost focus. You need to have self-control. We all need to take charge of our lives, our ventures. Joshi did that, and he could survive so many ups and downs in the market. And I'm very sure even after current pandemic, when it gets over, he is going to come back to the market and then rule the market. So these are all small things, but then check for it. You might find something is I try to share these mantras with you with the help of Joshi. So instead of taking different examples, I thought it's better to take one single case study of Joshi and then talk about success mantras. I hope I could make these mantras easy for you and you could get these mantras. Most of you must be already following these mantras. Only thing is, I always say and I quote that such webinars are actually reminders of what you already know. And when a reminder is served, we can always check back. Oh, yes, this much, this for that. Oh, yes, thankfully I got the reminder. Now I'll do that. So these webinars actually serve us like this.